Welcome back. Today we're going to be working on the farm truck. We are going to be getting rid of that exhaust. It's just a 4-inch going to a tip. And we are going to be mounting stacks in the back. I had stacks on my old 03. They were 5-inch stacks, looked kind of dumb just because they were small on a dually. But I found a guy getting rid of these big 8-inch. So we're going to put these in here. And not only do we get the stacks, but we also have this pretty awesome custom toolbox that came with it that goes around the stacks and completely seals off that corner so nothing can get behind the stacks and start a fire. It's already heat wrapped. Stacks already mounted. So stay tuned. We'll get after it, get the truck in here. Got the fire going, warming the place up, and we'll get after it. Before we start, let's hurry and do a video clip, just kind of see what it sounds like. Just with the 4-inch. This is, I believe, straight pipe. So here's what we have so far. Everything's kind of just sitting here. I had to cut that elbow off of the bottom of those stacks because it was welded. So, like I said, this is just sitting here so I can kind of mock up and measure on both sides of the stacks to make sure they're centered. From there, I'll get down in here and mark where I need to cut the hole for this Y to go down through the bed. Hopefully I can keep the hole as small as possible. And then after this sits all the way down, this tubing right here will actually sit on top of these brackets, apparently. I'm trying to figure out how all this works because the guy didn't do a very good job explaining how they had it mounted. But from what I gathered, that sits under the pipe like that, so it's flat. And then he said there's something to do with these plates that mount to the bed, I guess. Not sure why or how. And then that mounts to that. So after I get the hole cut, those stacks should drop about, I don't know, 9 or 10 inches and be fairly level with the top of the cab. And then they'll be sitting on those to sit flat. And I guess the idea behind it was most stacks mount somewhere to the bed rail or somewhere right here. And I guess the idea behind this is to have everything underneath this box completely cleaned up. So all you see is the clean stacks and the toolbox. So we'll see if we can't figure it out. I'm sure we can, but that's where we're at so far. Okay, quick update. I ended up marking where I wanted it. I don't really care about the hole itself because it's going to be hidden by this massive box anyway. But where I measured is right in the middle of this cross member at the very front of the bed. So I'm actually, this is already bent down. It's still holding on to the other side. So I'm just going to obviously clean all this crap out. I'm going to run my angle grinder right along this edge, and that'll completely clean up that whole hole. And the whole reason I made it big and rectangular is because this whole thing, you can't just make a 5-inch hole right here because then it's gonna stop right here. Well, I need to drop it another 2 inches past that. So I need about here to here-ish of hole. And instead of trying to mess with circular holes, it's just easier to cut a big square hole. So I'll drop that whole thing down into there. It'll all be hidden with the box anyway, but I'll take my grinder to that, clean it up, and then we'll at least be able to get this in and situated and try to figure out how we're gonna mount it to the bed itself. So that's where we're at. All right, took a minute to get the stacks figured out. I got the hole done. That's all cut out, but the stacks themselves were kind of tweaked a little bit. So I ended up having to undo that clamp to make sure they were both straight. Got them straightened out. I didn't use the plates that they originally used. I ended up just putting those spacers under it and then running a big clamp all the way through the bed. Now that holds it great, honestly. But for insurance, I also put 2 screws. I mean, it's an 8-inch stack, so I could fit a drill and screws in there. And I mean, it's not going anywhere. So between the 2 screws in each stack, I did those first after I measured everything to make sure they were straight. And then I did the bottom clamps, 1 on each side. So I wanted to make sure everything was done in the bed as far as the stacks before I go up under it and start chopping everything under there, because I wanted to make sure this was secure and not gonna move when I start messing around with everything under the truck. So this is done. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could install the box now. I'll probably wait until I actually have it all hooked up, just to make sure there's no exhaust leaks or anything that I need to address before I put the box in. So that's where we're at, and we'll go from there. Okay, so from here we took out the exhaust pretty much from the cab back to there, which is this long piece with the tip plus that piece. So we ended up, let's see. So we cut out up there by that cross member. Now this piece right here is just a 4-inch to 5-inch, kind of looks like a tip, but basically an adapter. So we went from the 4-inch by that cross member, adapted it up to 5-inch, hooked on our piece of flex pipe. I like tack welding things because I don't fully trust clamps. So I tack welded that, and then we'll throw an additional clamp over that seam. I've already tack welded that one and clamped it, and then the 90 up to that, up to the stack itself. And then right there, it's also welded, tack welded and clamped. So, I mean, it cleans up nice. It's all still tucked under here. It's not gonna cause a fire hazard anywhere. It's pretty clean. So I'll add that one more clamp right here, tighten everything up, and then I'll get the box put in the bed, and it'll be done. Okay, there it is. Box is in. All it is some sheet metal screws right there on the bottom. Just got some self tappers right there, one right there, 2 on each side of the stack. I was really hoping, and I didn't even realize this when I got it, but I figured this round piece would be hugging this a lot more. So I'll probably end up getting some sheet metal and kind of cutting out a piece, basically just an 8-inch cutout to slip over the top of the stack and hide this, because I don't like that at all. So I'll just get some diamond plate and basically, you know, what is this? 14 inches by 14 inches, cut an 8-inch hole in the middle of it. Well, at the very end of it, because it is flush up against that. And then basically screw it down this existing piece to hide this. And I don't want a bunch of garbage. I haul a lot of hay, got a farm. I don't want a bunch of crap getting down in here. So, I mean, it's a cool setup. They just could have done that part better. But I mean, this toolbox is pretty freaking cool. And all of that Y pipe is all hidden underneath that, so it's not completely wasted space. So I'm excited about that. Everything's done. The exhaust underneath is done. This is done. I'll wait until the morning to start it up for the first time, get a video. We'll get it outside. All right, it's the next morning. Got it pulled out. Let's fire it up. I mean, it's cold start. It's 30 degrees out here. And I only started it long enough to pull it out of the garage.